Tron Ares just under a year before its release, and we've received another teaser. This time, it's Ares, standing next to some sort of a Tron vehicle. We're also getting a clearer version of his suit, and well, I of course have thoughts, being a major lifelong Tron fan. Hey guys, Jason Emmett here. I really want to talk about this with you. The suit is, to me, very reminiscent of Tron Legacy, but if you see, they did this sort of armor-looking thing to the chest. I'm not really feeling that from this photo anyway. We'll see what it looks like when we actually get to the movie, if they make some changes. I also prefer the look of the Legacy helmets, but this one looks fine. You know, it's not bad. Overall, this could be a lot worse, and I'm not displeased with it. Of course, we know this movie is a sort of soft reboot sequel to the 1982 film. This time around, we know that Ares, played by Jared Leto, will escape the confines of the grid and enter into the real world. Directed by Joaquin Roning, with a soundtrack by Nine Inch Nails. We also know that Jeff Bridges will once again reprise his role as Kevin Flynn, although we don't know to what capacity. From what I'm coming to understand, it's a smaller role. Now, Roning has said of this new installment, quote, "With Nine Inch Nails making the music, this installment will be a little grittier, a little bit more industrial. It's been important for me to contrast the grid and the real world. In that sense, Nine Inch Nails lends itself perfectly to this new Tron world that we are creating." I think I can get on board with this to some degree. If he's suggesting he wants the real world to feel grittier and grimier in contrast to the computer world, that makes sense because it should. The grid is sleek and beautiful, so compared to that, the real world is just, it's going to be the real world. Roning also said of the script, quote, "What I always look for in any story is a strong emotional core. This film will probably be more emotional than people are expecting. It's about the cost of being human." So earlier this year at D23, Leto stated that Ares is a program, quote, "looking for a way to make the real world his own, permanently." We've talked about it several times, and I'm hopeful that the script is solid and that Leto reins it in a little bit, but I'm also cautious in my optimism. Bringing the programs into the real world has the possibility of taking me out of the story. I don't understand how things like light cycles and disks would continue to work outside of the grid, and I don't want them turning a grid warrior into some sort of a superhero. That's just not really what they are, but what I have heard of the story so far, it does sound really cool, and the images have been kind of promising. I also want to say I am totally down with Trent Reznor doing the score. Now, people might not realize how many films he has scored, around 20 at this point, and if you listen to any of it, you'll hear how they are primed to pull this off. Yes, Daft Punk would have been great. They did Legacy, in case you were wondering, but they're no longer together, so it wasn't going to happen. Now, personally, I would love if Trent Reznor would bring Wendy Carlos into the mix somehow. Her original score is classic, and I love it so much, and I would love to have her influences on this film as well. But considering the score for The Social Network won a Golden Globe and an Academy Award, I do think Nine Inch Nails has what it takes to give us another wonderful soundtrack. All right, so if we hear any more news, you know we're going to give it to you because, like I said, Tron is one of my all-time favorite films. I collect Tron stuff. I'm a big Tron nerd. Now, if you want to hear about all that stuff as it comes, you should, of course, press that subscribe button, so you don't miss any of the news. Tron Ares is scheduled to release October 10th, 2025. We will be there to watch it. Hope you are too. And, of course, guys, stay awesome.